So this is the new Windows 10. The upgrade was pretty straightforward from Windows 7 to Windows 10. So we'll take a look at a few things that are new. So right off the bat, our start bar is no longer transparent glass, but now a solid black bar. Start menu is back now instead of Metro, but as you can see it looks quite a bit different. You got your power and your all apps and settings and file explorer down here, and then this region shows stuff that you've recently used. We also have the new tiles over here. These can be added or removed, and you can also move them around quite a bit. Depending on the tile, you can also resize it. Here you have several different size options from the smallest to the largest. As you can see over here, some tiles are interactive and will display either news or website information, or if you have new mail. One of the nice things is that it comes with a simple mail client installed right off bat, so you can set up your mail and you can get notifications from it when you have a new email. Which leads us to our next thing. Additionally, we have a new area in this taskbar on the bottom right here. It's basically notifications. You can click that and it'll show you all notifications that your computer has, whether it be just program updates or any other information that wants to take advantage of this. Additionally, the notification area allows you to have an icon for quiet hours. That way, if you don't want it making a ding sound late at night, you can click that. You can also enable or disable the ability of Windows to use your location based off of your internet connection, and or if your laptop has a GPS, it can use that. What's also new is Cortana. Cortana is basically kind of like Siri.
Here's what I found.
As you can see, she kind of picked up things because she heard me say her name. So you can enable or disable this feature like you can for Siri or Google Voice to listen to you wherever you are. But all you have to do is say your name. We'll try this now. Hey Cortana, tell me a joke.
Why didn't the spider go to school? Because she learned everything on the web.
So as you can see, it's complete with total bad jokes too. Cortana can also launch programs and can do web searches for you. It can additionally make schedule up appointments and track flights depending on what you want it to do. It's a lot like Siri or Google Now's voice command thing. Xbox users may like this more, but we also have an Xbox store built into it. Though we saw this with Windows 8, it's also here for Windows 10. And in it you can purchase both games for Windows, and you can also purchase Xbox games. And you can also see what your Xbox friends are up to. As with Windows 8, we also have the store now. So we have Windows Store where you can buy apps and whatnot. Most of these apps are also apps that can be bought on Windows 10 phones and will also run on your desktop. So they're kind of limited usefulness depending on what you want. And they're more geared for touchscreen devices, so if you have a touchscreen device with Windows 10 on it, these might be more useful for you. Additionally, we have what's been common to Linux for some time now, but relatively new to Windows, is the idea of virtual desktops, or if you use a Mac, it would be called Workspaces. In this case, it's called Task View. This can be activated by either clicking this icon in your taskbar down here, or by pressing the Windows key and the Tab key together. As you can see, we have desktops that we can add. 1, 2, or 3, depending on how many you want. Now what this does is, let's say, I don't know, you've cluttered up your desktop with a couple windows. Say you got a web browser open here. I don't know, you're browsing files. Who knows what you're doing. You got a bunch of stuff junk right here. You don't want to close all that out, but you want to go and like browse, I don't know, browse the web or do something totally unrelated. So you can just do task view, create a new desktop, and click desktop 2. As you'll see, it acts like none of your programs are open. But all you have to do is go back to task view and switch back to the first desktop, and everything's right where you left it. This is great for multitasking. Speaking of multitasking, we now have a new feature with Windows. You saw this a bit back in Windows 7 and Windows 8, where we had Snap, where you could touch it to the left side and it would automatically do that. But what's new is you can now snap windows to 4 corners, and it'll automatically try to guess what you want next. So you can choose from a list here, and it'll auto-arrange like that. You can additionally put this in the top right corner and bottom corner, and that way you can like have 4 programs open at a time. Also new in Windows 10, if you're coming straight from 7, is the rework of where all your settings are. There's 2 ways to get to a lot of settings. First easy way is you can right click on the Windows Start button down here, and that'll give you a drop down list of anything that you might need that's common options. Whether you want to shut down your computer, open a file explorer, control panel, task manager, whatever you want. It's all here. Alternatively, you can just open this up and go to settings. And all your settings are listed out in easy to use icons under different categories. It's advisable once you upgrade to Windows 7 for you to customize 2 settings. One is privacy, and you'll go down through each of these options to see what you want to allow and disallow. Because when you use Cortana, it requires you to enable quite a bit of stuff. That way Cortana can track where you are, who you are, things you like to do, trying to personalize to your tastes. If you don't like that sort of thing, you can tell Cortana to stop getting to know you. You also want to go through some of these other options, such as location or in general, to see what you do and don't want for your information going out. As with Windows 8, it requires a Microsoft Live account to sign in. So if you have a Hotmail account or an Xbox account or an Outlook account, then you can probably use that to sign in. Additionally, and this is more for power users, and this is also featured in Windows 8, is if you have an ISO file, which is basically an image of a CD that's ready to be burned, instead of burning that CD, you can just right-click it and open it, and it'll automatically mount it as if it was a virtual CD drive. Additionally, you can see that the user interface has been reworked where everything's a little bit more nicely designed and more touch-friendly, where you see the calendar has had some rework, and even the calculator's been reworked some. So that's mostly all that's new in Windows 10. As you can see when we click All Apps though, it's a little bit different than the All Programs back in Windows 7. It's arranged alphabetically and by letter, which is a little bit odd, but it shows you all your apps at a glance, and you can just scroll through them. I forgot 2 items. Microsoft Edge, that's their new browser that's different from Internet Explorer. It's designed to be a very light and very fast browser. It's very straightforward. You can just enter in websites or go places from it, and it just takes you right to them. Very simple browser, very small. Internet Explorer, of course, is still included if you like using it, but we also have a 3D printing app that is installed with Windows by default now. While this is of limited usefulness right now since not a lot of people use 3D printers, it's still interesting that they included it for if you do decide to get one. So on the day that 3D printers come down in price and more people start to have them, you can do basic 3D printing. It comes with preset shapes that you can basically move around and or combine with other preset shapes. So like if you wanted to make like a race car track or a simple little like toy bulldozer, chess pieces, basic shapes, you can do that. So we'll click this, and you can scale things and move them around. So you can move it, you can rotate it. And looks like you can also split shapes. So you can kind of like mix and match and combine pre-made shapes together. So if you have a MakerBot or something, this can be interesting for you. Very simple, very straightforward. Otherwise, that's pretty much all that's new in Windows 10.